Okay, it's working. Okay, so recently we got a comment on our last video which was asking, oh, I hate doing this so much. The light is so bright and I look so crazy. Okay, no, I'm doing it because I said I'd do it and I've set this fucking light up, which just looks crazy. Okay, so I wanted to quickly discuss, and unpack what happened during the Roxxxy Andrews lip sync with Miss Cracker. So Miss Cracker and Roxxxy Andrews, two legends, two amazing drag queens in their own right, completely incomparable, two different lanes, two different schools of drag, had to lip sync against each other to the song One Last Time by Ariana Grande. Certainly like a big bop from Miss Ariana Grande, Miss, ponytail, Miss, My Little Pony Girl. But a bit more low tempo for our girl. So this lip syncing question, I said the following.
No, stop dancing, honey. It's still the slow emotional bit.
Okay, and then we had a comment on the video which was like, Miss Cracker dances lazy. Why is she dancing? This is a slow song. Roxy opens her ass. Susan, yes, work. Um, uh, yes, I stand by that 100% because there was two different things going on here. The song begins nice and slow, as we all know. One last time, honey, right? So Miss Ariana Grande, she's all like, I was a liar, I gave into the fire, I know I should have fought it, at least I'm being honest. And Roxxxy Andrews, in her infinite wisdom, years and years of drag experience, plants herself, holds her own on the stage, stares down the audience, looking over her shoulder over those beautiful red feathers, and then just lets the words do the work. She's putting build into it. She's starting a narrative. So the emotion at the very beginning of this song, the character that Roxy is building in that moment is one that's reserved, one that's held back. She doesn't even face the judges. She's keeping it to herself. She's all closed off. And then Miss Cracker at the other side of town, in her, single leotard, which we're not doing anything on the reveals here today, even though that does factor in because obviously the two different competitors have different amounts of time to prepare, so it's not exactly fair. But she starts straight in on business. She's doing something. Just starts like doing this little wiggle waggle, and then she's doing these funny little steppy things. What's happening? Have you heard the song? The song is this woman who knows that the relationship is on the brink of ending, but you still are desperately in love with this person. You know that you're both broken people, it's not coming to fruition. And you're begging them for one last time. You're assuring that this is the last moment of your relationship, but just before the flames of love die, before you're never in a relationship again, before this is it. And Miss Cracker's response to that as an opener is to just like pop a little booty out and do these funny little steps. What does that have to do with it? I just feel like it's completely out of place with the song. What's happening? Meanwhile, the next move that we have from Roxxxy Andrews as the song builds, as she's developing this narrative, this ingenue who's broken by this relationship, she takes her leave. She walks back. She doesn't even face the judges. She's not lip syncing to them. She's got her back to them as she slowly walks relative to the length of the show. She slowly walks to the back of the stage, right? And meanwhile, Miss Cracker's doing twirls and everything. And still, Roxy hasn't given an inch. She's just holding it very still, very still. And then she just triggers this like reveal number one. And this is when she begins to start facing the audience, starts to move a little bit more. She's starting to hold in her body, own herself. Miss Roxxxy Andrews is taking the narrative of the song. She's set us up at a small place and she's slowly getting bigger. Slowly, this is the story of a woman who begins reserved and then and taken aback and put away and resigned to the end of this relationship, and then realizes that with this one last touch, this one last act of sensuality, she can like revive the embers of this dying love for just this one moment, this one last time. And so She's mincing, she's working, and the hair starts to move. The hands start to go up. Amazing. And then now, when she walks back, she's facing the audience, begging them closer, coming closer one last time. And she does the one. So you know that it's a single, right? One last time. And then, then Miss Cracker does her shtick. She does a classic drag move. So no shade here, absolutely not. Right? It doesn't feel like it's born out of a comedic bravado that she's doing throughout the entire performance. It feels like it's born out of just a moment of desperation, clawing out and reaching out because you haven't been able to tap the lifeblood of the song. Maybe it's not the sort of song that Miss Cracker would normally do. So instead, she's relying on this sort of classic drag trick to engage in that moment. But the rest of the song hasn't been at that comedic intensity. It's kind of been more like showgirl, dance, 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 which is ironic because Roxxxy is really the more classic showgirl, and yet she's doing the more subdued, more withheld performance that is tapping into the lifeblood of like what this song is about. And then Miss Roxxxy is over there preparing her reveal, taking a moment. She's not rushing it. She's letting it fall because this isn't a bam bam show. Like, it doesn't require that. And then we have this. And this is where the comment that we got is so misplaced. So why is Miss Cracker dancing at the start when it requires build, when you need to start understanding who the woman is who is on stage? Well, that's the problem. You're never given anywhere to go. She's been dancing full tilt the entire time, more in a bid to save herself within the context of the broader RuPaul's Drag Race reality, and less focused on the actual song that she's to perform, which is the problem. And obviously, who's going to fault her for that? She's in a context of a reality television show. She has her eye on redemption and $100,000. She's probably got bigger fish to fry than to worry about the nuance of this performance, but that's why it doesn't work. She's not in it. She's just pulling out every trick in the bag. Bag in the trick? Trick in the bag. No, I said it right the first time. Shut up. And that's why when Roxxxy Andrews opens her ass, as it was so well put in the comment, I did go, yes, work. Because she's earned that moment. By the time that she's done that, we've seen this restrained, hidden woman. And then by the end, she's opened up, she's alive again. And not only that, she's declaring her intention, which is that she is thick and juicy and she'd like to fuck. Just one last time. It's a celebration of her sexuality, her sensuality, her body as a woman, taking that stage and not being ashamed anymore of wanting this moment to happen one last time. It's an earned moment. She's created a tiny narrative on stage. And that is what makes it such a fucking good lip sync. She did a great job. She really slayed the game. This is no shade, obviously, on Miss Cracker, except for that this performance perhaps didn't quite hit the mark, which is why she doesn't have $10,000. I hope that explains a little bit about what I was saying during the show. And thank you so much for commenting, because it really made me think about why I appreciated this particular performance and the sort of thing that, and perhaps the sort of thing that drag queens are doing on stage that's so impressive without us even noticing why we're gagging. So, yeah. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. Bye.
No, why is she moving so much?
Well, I just don't know if you're the authority on dancing during a lip sync, so.